You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa, you know what we do is Al Mega, your host, CEO of Comic Crusaders Undercover Capes, and yeah, I'm keeping busy, right? Right now, I got yet another amazing guest. This person is a legend. I mean, if you've held a comic book in your hands, you have held this person's work in your hands as well. I mean, homie has been everywhere, Marvel, DC. He's an artist. He's an inker. I mean, he's worked on like legendary characters, but he's a legendary person himself. I'm very honored to introduce the one and only Keith Williams. Wepa, mano, what's popping?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Al.
How you doing? He's so humble. He's just there with that big smile. Like, yes, stop it. I'm not all that awesome. Yes, you are, man. You're an amazing creator. And before we even get started, thank you, brother. You definitely a big part of my childhood growing up. You know, I seen your names everywhere. So thank you for providing me countless hours of entertainment.
Oh, thanks, Al. Thanks for saying that. Thanks for inviting me.
No, thanks for agreeing to come on. You know, you're a legend, brother. So, you know, let's talk comic books with the legend over here. So, Keith, a little bit about yourself. So, for folks that are unaware, man, where you grew up at? What's your home hood?
Oh, Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
Yes.
I grew up. I mean, I was born in PR, but raised in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. What part of Brooklyn you from?
Well, it's like Canarsie, East Flatbush border, you know, like of the city, you know, like projects, Glenwood houses.
Yeah, I know. Tough area back in the day, for sure.
Actually,
not even us Brooklyn boys from that area wanted to go there.
Actually, it was almost like a fairy tale. It was very mixed there. It was really interesting. Some people don't believe me when I tell them that.
Well, there's always a mix. I mean, it's New York, man. This is why it always blows my mind when people don't want to accept diversity and stuff. They're like, yo, I come from the city where it was just a part of your everyday life.
There you go.
So it's normal for me. Mm-hmm. Not that I tend to laugh at the conversations, but I'm like, you guys are so silly. Live in New York for a year and you'll be with us 100. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So talk about your journey, brother. This is definitely what I want to learn. I want to learn about Keith, man. So here you are, a Brooklyn boy. I mean, what was your first taste of any fandom that gave you the itch?
Oh, it gave me the itch. Well, I guess my grandmother started me out with reading comic books. She gave me my first book.
She did?
Yeah. She'd come over like almost every weekend, and she would give me a comic book. My first one was Batman. Batman.
What a great grandma.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. No, it was something. My mom was even into comic books too when she was, you know, like when she was young, and had like all the books now that, you know, you wish you'd had, and she would praise them, and you know, and they would be reading them to death. Yeah. So I guess I got it. I must have gotten it from my mom, most likely, and yeah, my grandmother, and then I loved comic books so much I started collecting them. I was collecting them with my friends. We'd go to like stores that were in our neighborhood that had old comic books in boxes and used to collect them.
You're telling me back in the day in Canarsie that had some comic shops?
Well, it was actually in Flatbush Avenue. There was a store called My Friends. Okay. A long time ago, and we used to go there on the weekends and look inside the boxes. You'd get things like the Metal Men, Spectre, you know, like and all the Superman, Batman stuff. It's the old stuff, but you know, like you'd buy them for like I don't know, maybe 20 cents or something like that.
Oh, wow.
You know, you just buy a bunch of books. You know, and we just bought them basically to read them, not to collect or you know, like anything like that. But it built during the years, you know, and we never threw them out. And you know,
thank God you did it. I mean, that was one thing. Listen, I come from a Puerto Rican household, and Puerto Rican women hate a mess. So it was a miracle. I was a neat kid growing up. So mommy would buy me the comic books, and I found a box. I went to the bodega. Like, can you give me a box so I can kind of put these away neatly? Like, all right, kid, I get it. Moms love to throw stuff out. Even they knew where I was coming from. So they gave me a box that I kept on top of my closet. And, it is, again, I was a kid, so I didn't know about plastics and backboards. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
So, and it's like you, I was buying them to read them. Oh, these are so cool. But I just couldn't find it in my heart to want to throw them out. Like, these are too hot. Yeah. I enjoyed them. Right. And I didn't know about collecting. I knew nothing about that. I was the love. And like you, it was my, not my grandma, but my mom that bought me my first comics. So a shout out to the moms out there that as much as they like to throw out that shit, they're the ones that get you hooked to begin with.
That is true, man. Oh my gosh.
When did the creative buzz come?
Oh wow. When I was in elementary school, loved to create my own comics, and I had a friend, James, that we used to hang out in the hallway of our project, and we used to create comic books. I can create characters, like Catman, of course, and another character of mine was like Retrofire, we used to do that whenever we had the chance to, not really. We did go outside sometimes, but a lot of times, like when it was like either a rainy day or something like that, we'd be, like in the hallway creating comics.
Bro, you are taking me back to my childhood, because when my boy 13th Crusader and my boy Hans, when we were teens, it was raining outside. It's like, come upstairs. I lived on the last floor. We open up the rooftop doors to get some air in. You know what I mean? And we're there with our binders and our pens and our ideas, before phones. And we're like, yo, let's create a comic book. So we were doing that and drawing and doing some awesome stuff and coming up with stories that we eventually saw our characters be born, but not from us. That's mine.
I know, yeah.
Anyway, so...
Right at that stuff anyway. Yeah.
So you said, so you were creating comics as a kid, in the hallway with your boy. When was the first time you said, okay, I want to start taking this a little seriously? I actually love this.
Oh, wow. For a long time. I mean, even when I was doing it in the hallway, I was like thinking, this is something that I would like to do. But I also wanted to be an astronaut too. So there was that too. There was like, there was a chance that I could have been an astronaut. I was thinking about that when I was in high school, but I had an advisor who, when there was this award, there was this contest about smog, I guess, and pollution, and I created some kind of like weird kind of pollution monster and a superhero fighting it. And she got me into major art courses, just by looking at that. Wow. She thought that I might be good at doing that. So yeah, they had great art courses at my school, South Shore, at the time in Canarsie, and I learned from the art teachers who were really great. And I moved on to doing like the school shows that they had there, and doing gigantic backdrops and stuff, and doing the school yearbook, doing the cover for that. I got picked for that. There was a contest for that also. It just like rolled on from there. I was interested in going to a college that was basically an art school. So, was thinking like maybe Cooper Union or School of Visual Art, but School of Visual Arts had Will Eisner in it. So I really worked hard, in that direction to, get into that school. And
did you?
Yes, I did. Yes,
hey, I did. I just had someone that told me the same thing. I went to the School of Visual Art when Will Eisner was there. Like, oh, damn. Nice.
Yeah. Before I even went to the school, they had, Warren Magazine was publishing The Spirit. Magazines, comic books again. And I loved his artwork. I loved the storytelling, loved the style. It was amazing stuff. And I just thought, yeah, if I can, get to, be in this guy's class, that'd be amazing. Had to work really hard to do that. Had to really convince him. He was, it really was not easy. I did He did a contract with God.
Yes.
One of the first graphic novels, or the first graphic novel, and brought it to him in class and asked him to sign it for me. And as he was signing it, he looked to the class and he said, "See, this is how you get into my class." So I did actually get into his class that way.
Oh my God! So you got into the class with, I gotta ask, you got into the class with the legendary Will Eisner. How was he as a person?
He was fantastic. He was always interested in what we had to say about the industry, and he would be interested in hearing us how, the news of the day and stuff like that. Even though we felt that he knew already what was going on, he would, give us that feeling that, we were telling him something, and that, it was really great having that feeling. He would hire people in his class to work with him in his studios. Unfortunately, not me, but but he did get a few of the other guys that I was in class with to work with them and do stuff, which was absolutely great too. He would look at our, he would give us assignments, and we would bring in our artwork and show it to him, and we would kind of like cringe and get all nervous because he would draw right on our artwork, not thinking, it's Will Eisner drawing on your artwork, man. I don't let him do it.
At that point in time, it's my teacher drawing on my stuff, yo. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, we actually got him like a pad of tracing paper so that he could do that instead. And he would use his gigantic piece of lead and draw and show us what we did wrong and how we could correct it and stuff. And also, teaching us, storytelling, writing, kind of like a little bit of the business of comic books also. He figured at the time for me that I might have been better as a writer.
Oh, really? Oh, check that out. Damn.
It was not like as good as I guess it is now. But he was very good to us and very patient.
So let me ask, so you do the School of Visual Arts, work with the legend, and what was your first dabble into, a publisher?
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, that was Marvel. Don Perlin, whose son Howard Perlin I knew from South Shore High School. He introduced me to him. He actually did not live that far away from us, about maybe 2 blocks away from the projects, and I was able to bring over some stuff. At that time, I was actually doing ink work, so I had the Marvel Comics how to draw Marvel style. They had some pages of John Romita Jr. artwork in there that was in Blue Line, and I inked over that. And I brought that to him along with some other stuff that I did over vellum, which is a very hard thing to ink over because the ink doesn't really dry that quickly, and it's hard. So I brought that over too, and he looked at it, and I guess he saw some kind of promise in there, in my work, and I went over a bunch of times with new stuff, and he continued to show me the ins and outs of, the inking, of inking. I was paraprofessional at the time at South Shore, believe it or not. And he gave me a call one day and said that they're interested in possibly hiring me as background inker over maybe Mike Esposito.
Oh, wow.
I went up to the company, took the pages home with me, did the work, and I guess I did it well enough so that they allowed me to do more pages, and then that sort of kind of rolled over into even more work, and I was getting paid, and
Nice.
which was amazing. And I was doing that at night while I was working as a paraprofessional during the day.
Oh
and
wow! So you're doing 2 gigs.
Yeah, I basically didn't have any sleep. No sleep whatsoever. Had to go over to South Shore at 7 o'clock in the morning and just kept doing this up until summertime when school was finally over and I had to make a decision.
Yeah, like I could finally sleep in summertime.
yeah, but I had to make a decision if I was going to stay as a paraprofessional and still do this work that I love too, you know. So I told them, you know, I get South Shore. I said, sorry, I'm done with that. You know, like this is what I really wanted to do. And
so you woke up that morning and said, "That's not for me. I'm doing this." Period.
Yeah, it was like this was my dream, you know, to get my foot in the door at Marvel, and it was in, and I was going up there almost like every other day, you know, like with more work that I finished, and this was for Marvel Team Up.
Wow.
That I was working on with Mike at that time, and the thing is that I've never really met Mike. never met
What do you
Mike.
mean you never really met him?
I never met Mike Esposito, but I was doing his work over his stuff for about maybe a half a year, doing background work.
Oh, damn.
So doing everything but the figure work, you know, like the buildings, the cars, you know, stuff like that. Yeah. And that moved on to me working with Joe Sinnott.
Did you get to meet him at least?
Yes, I did. A bunch of times, you know, especially at conventions and stuff. Yeah, he's a really sweet guy. You know, like he really was, and he would send me the pages, and he would also put the check with it. You know, like, so that would be, you know, like stapled onto the side of the. So, there's no way in the world I would be saying no.
Here's the checkbook, get it done.
Yes, and I would, boy, I'd be very happy because I got my check, did the work, sent it out, you know, like, and I was like watching his style, studying it, and this is when he was working on the Avengers with Al Milgrom.
Oh wow!
And it was great, you know, like just learning from him, you know, like his style. And
so
you know,
I want to ask that when you visited the Marvel offices in those early days, did you get your eyes on the bullpen, or would you just go into the receptionist and bouncing?
Oh, the receptionist Erica was the receptionist at the time, and she was great. And it was, you know, like after a while, I was able to just like basically walk in, you know, because I was there like almost every day. So yeah, I'd see the bullpen. The bullpen was right there. All the guys there hanging out. Danny Crespi was like the leader of running the bullpen at the time, and the guys were great. They were always fun. You know, like, I mean, they did their work, but you know, they also, you know, like had their fun moments too, you know, and so did the editors. You know, like, I mean, the whole place was sort of like a family. It was great. I like back then at that time, really enjoyed always going up there and seeing all the editors. You know, you can like stick your head in, say hi, you know, and maybe they might have work for you, you know, and you know, come on in, hey, you know, right time, you know, come on in. And I'd be doing background work for, you know, like a lot of different editors, a lot of different inkers, you know, so
wow.
And, yeah, and getting that foot in the door, doing that, and getting stuff on time, and I guess having the stuff look good, you know, like they decided, you know, like after a while that, you know, like I could probably, you know, like move on and, you know, like do some inking work.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So what's your greatest yeah, you know, in this journey of yours?
Greatest memory? Oh
yeah.
God, there's been a bunch of them, really. You know, like meeting Stan Lee, just actually being up in the offices, being the assistant. I was the assistant editor for a short time. Which was after being a Romita Raider, and actually being in the offices and working with John Romita, and learning.
Senior or junior?
Senior.
Wow.
John Romita Senior. He was the art director at the time at Marvel, and were a group of kids, I guess, yeah, that were doing repair work on comic book pages, and we were called the Romita Raiders, and we would we would touch up things that or change panels or like whatever needed to be fixed, we would do it. And at the same time, we were learning from John, like how to do things, like inking and things like that, and pencil work, and so it was a great learning experience. So that was a good thing. That was a great thing to remember. Another thing was being asked by Jim Owsley to become assistant editor with him on the Spider-Man books.
Wow.
So it was like weird,
how did you feel? How did you feel like they're asking you to come across this, one of their foundational characters? I
was like saying, really? Really? Me? I didn't have that much experience, but I knew the characters, being a collector by that time, and being up in the offices and stuff. Like I said, yeah, sure, why not? Well, let's give this a try. We were the first fully black editors of a comic book group.
Wait, and what year was this?
Must have been 83, 84.
Wow. Yeah. And it took that long to have an all-black editorial team.
I guess so. I don't believe there was one before us.
Wow.
But yeah, we were the duel, and I worked with Jim for about 9 months on Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man.
The good stuff you were working on too.
Yes. And I was also around during the Secret War time when that came out. So yeah, it was an interesting period of time. So I got to say that was an incredible moment, to say that really stuck out for me.
I gotta ask you on this one, man, because I know you also worked on another book or character rather. This is from an old ass '80s movie. Buckaroo Banzai. You even did that, dude.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. When it first came out, yes, we actually saw the premiere of the movie in a private screening. And I got to hold the over thruster.
You do?
Yeah, I held it in my hand. Yes, the over thruster. Man. Yeah, they had that as reference. When we were working on it, I worked on the backgrounds with Mark Texiera on that.
Crazy. Yeah. Buckaroo Banzai. I saw that movie about a year ago, and my wife, what the hell are you watching? This looks insane.
It is a furry, but the effects and everything back then, it was amazing.
It was, yes.
I love that movie, and I really wish they did another one.
A sequel, please. Not no reboot. I don't want to see no reboot or remake.
No. I wanted it with Peter Weller. As the star, I wanted the people that were there at that time. Jeff Goldblum.
Oh my God!
The Clancy Brown.
Oh my God!
All those guys.
Yeah, great cast. When you say Goldblum, though, my best Goldblum moment is that I remember my cousin taking me to go see the Fly remake.
Oh wow!
Brundlefly.
Cronenberg, holy cow.
Yeah, I saw that shit in the movie theaters, kiddo. Yeah, man. Hey, listen, don't let these whiteheads fool you either, right, bro?
Did it maul you for life?
Great stuff, though.
When he pulled off.
No, the scene that messed me up as a kid was when he opened up the medicine cabinet and his junk was in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right.
And that fell off, too. I was like, oh, my God, no. Yeah, I think every man in that theater held themselves there for a moment. Like, oh man!
Yeah, he's seen his collection of his stuff, of his body.
Something you didn't see in the original. You know what I mean? Which
right?
is pretty cool.
Oh no! Totally different. This is Cronenberg, man. That's the roar.
I love those.
Yeah, that was a great movie. I loved it. Oh, another period of time I could say was also working for John Byrne.
Oh my gosh, yo, bro, yeah, you work with a legend, and that was the era after Crisis, right? of the Superman
Yes.
era? Nice.
Yes.
They changed the mythos a bit.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I was with him when he was doing Action Comics, which was really great. You know, like I really enjoyed that period of time, and he carried me over actually from Alpha Flight and the Hulk for Marvel when he was working there, and then when he moved over to doing Superman and stuff, wow, you know, it's like, thanks, John. You know, like, I mean, he put my name in the front of the cover of the book.
Wow.
Like as I wasn't even really an inker. I was a background inker, you know, at that time, and you know, like, it was really nice of him to do that.
That's
Thanks,
amazing.
John. Absolutely.
That's absolutely amazing. I mean, you also worked on illustrations for another iconic character in the Phantom.
Oh, the
Damn,
Phantom.
bro. I mean,
Yeah.
you've touched some legendary stuff, kiddo. What the?
No, I don't know myself how, you know, like Danny Fingeroff asked me if I was interested. It was right after I think I left, I was leaving Web of Spider-Man, and Danny was the editor at the time, and he asked me if I was interested in trying out for the inking for the Phantom. Cy Barry was leaving. He was the penciler inker, you know, like on the Phantom for years, and I said, yeah, sure, well, you know, I'll try it, see what happens, and he sent me over to King Features, and I got to talk to Jay Kennedy, who was the runner of the comic strips at the time up there, and he liked what he saw, and he said, well, you're going to have to go and show it to Lee Falk. Who was the creator of the Phantom? You had to go to Lee Falk and show him, and you know, talk to him and see what he thinks. You know, like because he has, I guess he had like the final say.
Wow.
In, who was going to be working on it now? And so I went to his apartment, which was on off Central Park West, across the street from the planetarium. Yeah, right across the street from it. As a matter of fact, the guy at the front desk showed me to an elevator that went right up to his floor, and I think it was like the 6th floor. And when the doors opened, it opened just to his hallway, to his door.
Say word. Wow.
No place else. I mean, it was like it was a freaking private elevator.
It's the Phantom. Where do you think they're gonna live at?
Yeah, really. You know, like in the alcove area, he had a picture of the Phantom, you know, like hung up there. I'd buzz his doorbell, and there he was in like I don't know, like maybe like a smoking jacket or robe or something like that.
Looking like Hugh Hefner, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, and he let me in, and took me into the living room area, and you know, like, you look out his window and you see Central Park off to the left. You can see, you know, like the Hayden Planetarium or Rose, whatever it is now, planetarium that's right down there. You look right down there. It was. I was like, saying, man, what a view! You know, you know, like, comic strip people make good money.
Apparently, right?
I guess, you know, like, I mean, it was amazing, you know, like, and then we talk, and I showed him my stuff, and he liked what he saw, and you know, he asked me about the other stuff that I've done, and I told him that I worked on Spider-Man, and then he said, you know, you know, like, I really have a fear of spiders. You know, I said, ooh. I said, oh no. I said something stupid. I'm gonna be fired even before I start working. And no, but it was okay. And he liked what I did. We, you know, like, made a deal, and I walked out of there with some of the strips. Handed them over to King Features. They liked what they saw there, and that was that. I was the Phantom artist. George Olsen was the penciler, and I was the inker for about 10 years. Milt Snapin was the letterer for the strip, I think for about 2 years before he died. You know, it was great letterer. And what happened was I ended up taking over the lettering gig too. So I was a letterer and inker on the Phantom.
So double duties for 10 years?
Yeah, for 9 years for 8 years for lettering, 10 years for the whole thing from 1995 to 2005.
Wow. So let's get into the future and the now. I mean, what are you up to?
Oh, right now it's traveling around at different conventions, mostly in the Northeast. If anybody's interested in me going anywhere else, you can give me a call or DM me, no problem.
Right there, folks. Let me put that up as you say that. Those are the places they could contact you. So what's the next con?
Oh, wow. Next one might be New York, actually. I think it's New York Comic Con.
Oh, yeah. That's October, right?
Yes, that's in October. Beginning of October, actually. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, unfortunately, this year I'm not going to go because I'm out in Florida. Plus, with all the COVID stuff, they kind of are limiting press access.
Oh, really?
I don't know how the show is going to be. Again, it is COVID. It is New York. You see how protective they are.
I know. Yeah.
It's going to be a tough show because I know at MegaCon they did enforce the mask thing a lot.
Yes, they did. Yes.
And at least in Florida, we have good air conditioning, so at least I could say that.
That was good air conditioning.
Right? It made it easy. I don't know in New York. I don't remember Jarvis having such good AC.
No. You know what? I think you're right because I remember being, down in the Artist Alley area.
And they put you guys in a corner of the Jarvis too, which is hot.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They put us downstairs a few years. I guess because they were repairing. Or building a new part of that area. Yeah. So usually we were all the way down around the corner, down the hall, and that was usually where we were.
That was 1 year, I believe it was 2018. I'm like, where the hell is in the Artist Alley? I can't find anyone.
Yeah.
Because there was no signage. But then in 2019, the last year I got to go, I mean, they gave you guys a big, beautiful area.
Yeah.
At the right basement area. It was great though.
Yes.
I mean, it was huge, and what made me very happy was so many people celebrating you guys there.
Yes, and the aisles were a little larger too.
Yes,
so
thank God for that.
A chance to be able to move and stop and be able to.
Yeah, you could talk and not get pushed.
Right. There was 1 year that I didn't have a table, and I was like trying to say hi to some of the people at the tables, and it was like you couldn't really do that. You keep going with the crowd, and the crowd was like continuously moving.
If you would stop, the crowd would just take you anyway. I'm sorry, every potato.
Go carry your work. That's how crazy it was at those conventions, man. But it's amazing. A lot of fans that wanted to go and see these people. Again, hey. More power to them. It's great,
But it's more power to the fans, but to you amazing creators that have, shared your lives with us, and your work with us and doing that. I mean, you again, part of my childhood. All those books you mentioned. Damn it, brother! I had all those in my hands as a kid. That was the way mommy would keep Alex quiet. Here's the book. Shut up.
At least you're reading. It wasn't like television. You're reading, right?
Oh yeah, listen. That's something that my parents appreciated about me. That I wasn't really such a big TV kid, except for Saturday morning cartoons. Come on, now. Who wasn't? And Kung Fu Theater on Saturdays. But other than that,
yes.
Bro, we grew up in New York. We're not that far apart in age.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah, man. So which is great. So
I also have Big Apple conventions.
Oh, Big Apple, yes. Mike Carbonaro.
26, yeah.
So Mike Carbonaro, what a character in the New York comic book business stuff, for real.
Yes.
I love him, bro. Crazy Mike, he's the man. So, folks, there you go. I mean, you see Keith here, but what you gotta do is go see him as a con. Get a commission from the big homie. I mean, hit him up now. Start reserving this commission because my brother gets busy. At MegaCon, he was like, "Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed." He's talking to us and drawing his ass off, like, and making some beautiful art at that. So you got a wonderfully gifted hand, brother.
Thank you.
I want to thank you again for being a legend and joining us today. And folks, check him out on Instagram, Keith Williams Comic Book Art. At Facebook, just Keith Williams. and at DeviantArt. So that's kwill916.deviantart.com. And again, if they wanted to get a commission, those would be the best places to hit you, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely with Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Like I'm still involved with DeviantArt, but more, like with Instagram and Facebook. Yes.
And commissions list is still open, right? Because I know you get busy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's still open.
Open. There you go. And this is what I want to leave the last question. All right, because I've been dying to find this out. Because you've worked with multiple legends, right? But what legend, living or past, that you never got a chance to work with that you would love to work with?
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, I would have loved to have inked over Neil Adams.
Oh,
yeah. That's one dream. It's like a lot of the different Silver Age artists, Silver Age artists. I would love to work over. And well, I worked over John Byrne, which was like wonderful. But who else? Wow, you really caught me there. But I got to tell you this: there are definitely a lot of people. John Buscema. I was really intimidated by his work. So but I would really wish now that I could have worked over his work. Yeah, absolutely. Kurt Swan would be another one. I would love
my favorite
work over him.
Superman.
Oh my God, I love his stuff.
That's my favorite Superman. John B. Those are my favorite Conan ever.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Barry Windsor or anyone like that. You know what I mean? But
yeah, right.
That's my generation. That and an Norm, because those were Norm covers. I was picking up a Conan back in the day. So.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I'd love to do that. And Gil Kane. There's like bunches of people that I would love to have worked over that are not here now.
They're doing a lot of reproduction, so hopefully they hire Keith to make them look even sexier.
Oh,
how about that? So Keith, thank you again, bro. You are a legend. Thank you for taking the time to chit chat with us and just tell us, a little bit of the stories of your journey, which has been great. Thank you for everything you've done. And thank you in advance for what you will be doing. Because, legends never stop, brother. So, thank you again.
I'm not retiring anytime soon. So.
Of course not, brother. Hey, listen, with those New York rents, who can?
Right?
Well,
we can talk about
that. To Florida. Get more space. All right, folks, thank you again for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with Al and, of course, the legend that is Keith Williams. The outro tells you what to do with the exception of make sure to visit our brand new comic book shop at comiccrusaders.shop and our ultimate swag shop at comiccrusaders.us. I'm Al Mega with the legend, Mr. Keith Williams. Thanks for tuning in. Hasta la próxima. Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.com and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.